So they're first after.
And Paul's doing the other?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
in 3,
Yep.
2, 1, and we are live and streaming.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to welcome everybody to the February 15th Ashland Board of Health meeting. Just a disclaimer, this agenda is subject to change and includes those items reasonably anticipated by the chair to be discussed at the meeting. Not all agenda items may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. So I'll call the meeting to order at 6:06 p.m. And Mark, I know you got to have something to say.
That I do. Good evening. Good evening. How are you? At least you're having better success than what the finance committee is trying to do on cable, because they're at the town hall and having trouble with the audio and videos. So I was trying to figure, how can I watch movies? Oh, I think I'll come back to Zoom instead. So everything seems here good at the house. Dad's doing well health-wise and everything. Got professionals working with them. And understanding that life does go on in the house and outside in the real world. So how's the Board of Health doing?
We're hanging in there. We got a good department.
I know, and got a good weather week coming up too. Maybe you can disperse some of the COVID outside and walk around for the week with the weather coming up.
Yeah.
Some people can, some people can't. But other than that, it's just a quiet house here and zooming out everywhere here.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Anything else?
No, that's about it, because I know you got a pretty good agenda tonight.
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Sergeant Berman, otherwise known as Superman, how are you?
Good. Hi, everyone.
COVID-19 update.
Yeah. So last week, I did send out the stats, and I do have a disclaimer on the stats right now. So our numbers are down, which is great, and I think they're down everywhere. But we do still need to add on between 20 and 30% because of the amount of people that are doing home tests. And where we've kind of come up with that number is, obviously I'm in contact with the schools every day, and they have quite a few parents, that are testing their kids at home, and they are positive on home tests. So the school nurses obviously are still getting some additional things, numbers that we don't see. But all in all, our numbers are down. Raj and I checked for Raj this morning. We had, I can't remember, 27 open cases, Raj, I think it was 28. But what I will do is tomorrow I will do another weekly update and send that out to the board and get the website updated again also. One of the things that we have been doing is we've been using our Code Red system to send a notification out to the positive people that we get, which has been really phenomenal, because I've gotten comments from people that, wow, I got a call from you before the lab even notified me that I was positive. I did talk to some people down at the train station testing site last week. For right now, the state is going to plan to keep that open till the end of March. That's the current plan. Again, the state, we don't know if they can change their mind, but that is the people that work down there have basically been told so far that they're going to be good till the end of March. That's kind of my quick update. And I do know that Jay is going to talk about remote area medical. I did some stuff with him last week, and he'll go from there, I guess, unless anybody has any questions. Oh, sorry, one more thing. We are running, just a reminder, we are running a Moderna clinic tomorrow at Town Hall from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. We did not have a huge sign up. So if there's anybody that's listening on WACA, if you're interested, feel free to just show up. I have enough doses. You could show up at Town Hall. We should be able to accommodate you. And most likely, we will be doing 2 home visits tomorrow that have been pre-scheduled with us.
Okay, that's great. So Ed, I mean, I see your breakdown. It seems, pretty evenly distributed through everything. Those are all the current infections and percentage rates?
So the percentage rates are not included in that number.
Oh, okay.
That's the actuals that we got in.
Got you. Where are you seeing most of the infections right now? Are they, school
Preschool.
age kids?
Preschool. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anybody else? Any questions? No? Okay. Moving on to agenda item 4, septic variance request for 192 Myrtle Street. So I guess that's Seth. You're muted if you can unmute.
How you guys doing tonight?
Hey Seth.
Better?
Good. How are you? Yeah,
Excellent.
better. Thank you.
So, yeah, I have a few variance requests on this one. I mean, this is actually a pretty limited lot in terms of where we could, do the perk test and put the septic system in, because we've got a water line that we're contending with. We have wetlands to the rear of the property, and it's in the area that I think is probably best suited for the septic system, as it's on the highest ground on the lot. We're able to keep it basically in the ground at grade here. But we do have to request a few variances to achieve the purposes of allowing the system to be installed in this location. We have 2 local upgrade approval variances. One is to allow the septic system to be closer than 20 feet from a cellar wall. We're requesting an offset distance of 10 feet, but we are also proposing to put in a polyethylene barrier at the 5-foot excavation closest to the foundation, to mitigate any potential effluent from flowing into the foundation. We're also requesting a 3-foot groundwater separation, which will allow us to keep the system in the ground and allow us to utilize the existing plumbing in the house and achieve gravity feed to the system. We have 4 variances that we're requesting to the town of Ashland's local regulations. One is a request that you allow us to use 1 deep observation test hole as opposed to 3. When we dug this perk test, we probably excavated out about half of the area that we're going to be utilizing for the septic. So, three test holes would have absolutely destroyed the whole area. And we're also asking for a variance to standard Title V sizing instead of 150% sizing, as the system is designed not to accommodate a garbage grinder. We're requesting a length of 25 feet, and we're also requesting a bed system to allow us to keep the footprint of the septic system to a point where we could keep it in the area that had the highest elevation and the best soils. Do you have any questions, comments, concerns that I can address?
I have a question, Seth.
Okay.
Just to educate me a little bit. So for the second variance request, the 150%, what do you mean by that exactly?
Oh, okay. Well, the town of Ashland has in their bylaw that you're supposed to design for use of a garbage grinder, which translates to an extra 50% sizing onto the size of the system.
Got it.
Title V sizing is basically just 100% of what the flows are, as opposed to 150% of the flows. And in order to do that, we have to basically disallow a garbage grinder in the property. I can honestly say that every single one of my septic designs that I put out has notes on it that prohibit the use of a garbage grinder. They're a bad idea for any septic system. So I make sure that that's a fairly prominent note on my plans, regardless. And even if I had designed this for 150% Title V sizing, I still would have that note on the plan. Does that help? Does that answer your
yes,
question?
it does.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'm
Veronica?
just interested. No, go ahead, Di.
No, I was just gonna make an observation. I noticed that the system to the front of the street, you're excavating, it looks like to me, and again, I'm just looking for more of an interpretation. It looks like you're excavating up to 5 feet to the road.
That's true. Yep.
Yeah. And then I see the vent. Now, is the vent the circle that's on the edge of the road, or is the vent?
Yes, that would be the vent would be is proposed there. Correct. But
And
really, that vent could. I mean, they could remote that out to just about any location that they really wanted to. I'm just showing it there pictorially. It doesn't necessarily have to go there.
yeah, and I mean, I'm sure, you probably know the property way better than I do, but I mean, that's a tight street, and I would just hate for them to have somebody come down that street and take out the vent when it's 5, I guess technically, I'm assuming that that's on the property line, and the other mark is. to the
Yeah, I
edge
mean,
of
the yellow or the dashed line there near the benchmark, that's the edge of the right of way, or the edge of the traveled way, I should
Right.
say. The edge of the right of way is the property line.
Yeah. Just an observation, it's just very close to the street, and I just, worry about somebody taking that out on them, but I'm not too sure how much is gonna stick out, or just something to think about.
Okay. I mean, like I said, it's I just showed it there pictorially. It really, it doesn't necessarily need to go there. It can, and 9 times out of 10, people will, the guys installing this are probably going to put it almost right off the end of the system. It's also from a standpoint of drafting it, there's a lot of stuff going on in that area. So I just kind of wanted to separate it so that you could see that there is a requirement for a vent on the plan. But again, I'm not married to that location. It's not like it absolutely has to go there.
Okay, thank you.
And so this is just, more for me, are most of these variances because of, where you had to put it, where was the old system at, versus where this one is?
The old system is kind of behind it, but it's I believe it's either a cesspool or a pit system. So it takes up a much smaller footprint than what a new Title V system is. So
right. And so
but there's no doubt they're going to hit the system when the existing system when they're doing this. Which was another reason why I didn't want to go with the 3 test holes, because we were ultimately you're putting Russian roulette at that point.
Yeah. Does that whole other system get taken out?
What we'll do is whatever portion of that we hit, which is probably going to be at least half of it, we'll pump it out. We'll remove all of the contaminated soils and any components that we find, and we will backfill that excavation with clean Title V sand. Which is also that is shown on as in the general notes section of the plan. It does state to do that when they hit the system, because they're going to hit it.
Yeah. So when and then this is just education for me. How old is that system, and when was that made? Was that like in the 70s or?
I would imagine that the system is probably close to the age of the house, whatever the age of the house is, which might be the 50s, 60s. So it's been in the ground for a while. It's definitely time to do something,
Yeah, absolutely.
And
right,
and it's definitely going to be a more functional system than what's there currently.
And just
Okay.
for curiosity, also, is the house vacant?
It is
I
right
mean,
now.
I shouldn't, I guess I shouldn't ask that question from, I was just assuming, because when you said it was gonna be, basically they're knocking out the old system to put in the new one, they're not gonna have
Yeah.
any issues with,
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that there's no copper piping anywhere in there for whoever's listening. So
oh, good. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that.
there's nothing worth stealing in that place. I'm just putting it out there.
Okay. All right, thanks, Seth. Anybody like to make a motion to, approve these variances as written, on this sheet?
Do you want me to, I could do, it, JD, were you gonna do it? You can move them as well. You don't have to read them individually.
I'll do it
Yeah.
if you want.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can do the first one in this order.
okay. Can-
Okay, I make the
Can
motion.
we do this as a group, right? We don't have to do each individually?
You can move the suggested motion list with the conditions of a
Okay.
garbage disposal, excuse me, a deed recording,
Deed recording, right?
yep, for the garbage disposal restriction.
Okay,
I think that's
sorry,
the-
Jay.
That's okay. So am I
Yeah.
just starting what, the first one? Or am I
It's
doing-
up to you if you want to read them all. You can, absolutely.
Well, yeah, because otherwise I didn't really catch how you said that we should do it, but
Okay. No problem.
I'll start with the first one, then I'll do a quick. I make a motion to grant a variance from 310 CMR 15 dot 405 section 1 section B to allow the installation of the sewer disposal system with an offset distance from a cellar wall of 10 feet versus the required 10 feet. I'm sorry, 20 feet.
I second that.
All right, all in favor? Aye,
IJ.
Diane,
okay. Passes 3-0.
Okay, I'll make the second motion. I make a motion to grant a variance from 310 CMR 15.405 section 1H to allow the sewage disposal system to be installed within a 3-foot offset to groundwater versus the required 4-foot offset.
I second that.
All in favor? Aye,
Hi, Diane.
okay, 3-0.
Okay.
Yep.
Should I go on with the
Yeah.
303? Okay. I make a motion to grant a variance from Ashland Board of Health Regulations 303-7, Section A, to allow the subsurface sewerage disposal system to be designed utilizing 1 deep hole versus the required 3 deep hole test pits.
I second that.
All in favor? Aye,
Hi, Diane.
IJ.
all right, okay, 3-0.
Okay, next, I make a motion to grant a variance from Ashland Board of Health Regulations, Section 303-11, to allow the subsurface sewage disposal system to be designed without a garbage disposal, with the conditions that no garbage disposal be installed within the house, a deed recording be placed on the property stating no garbage disposal shall be installed in the house while the subsurface sewage disposal system is in use, and a septic tank effluent filter system shall be installed.
I second that.
All in favor? Aye,
IJ.
Okay.
And I'm on a roll, so might as well do it. I make a motion to grant a variance from Ashland Board of Health Regulations, Section 303-11, Section A, to allow for a system length of 25 feet versus the required 100 feet.
I second that.
all in favor?
Diane,
Aye.
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 Can I just stop you
Okay.
for 1 second, Jay? I just
Yes.
wanted to ask a question
Yeah.
just before we get to the last one. So 30311 for the leaching area, is this something different that we're requiring the effluent filter? Is there a reason? Is it a code requirement? Okay,
I went off the last, just how I've seen it done. Is that correct, Seth? Is that what they
Oh,
use?
I don't have any objection to the requirement of an effluent T filter. If that's something that you guys want to put into the approval, that's absolutely fine. But I would like to note that they do have a tendency to clog, which can be sometimes be problematic. And what I'm proposing, what I have been proposing on my plans, instead of that is a 2-compartment tank, which actually allows better settling of the effluent, and it kind of reduces or almost eliminates the need for a effluent T filter, because that second compartment allows so much more settling that it actually there are very few suspended solids that are going out into the leach field. But like I said, if you guys want to require that, I have zero objection. It's just going to add to the,
Yeah, I just went by past ones
So
that I've kind of marked.
just my experience, and of course, the engineers that are here can comment on it, but my understanding from my experience sitting here is that sometimes people don't even know that they're there. So my understanding is that the filters, when you pump it, you're supposed to rinse the filter and so forth and so on, because again, it clogs. So I personally would like to revote that and not require it if they choose to do it, or you choose to advise your client to do it. But I don't want to set the precedent with starting to require them for the garbage disposal waiver.
Okay, just take that.
I was just trying to see, sorry.
I think
Tom,
that
I just was going to just ask Tom Ryder, what's your thought on that?
I actually do like the effluent T filters, and yes, I agree they do clog up, and it does require somebody to come in and clean them up every once in a while. Sometimes you don't notice it clogged up unless you have high flows. I see them clog up at restaurants more often, and just because there's a lot of scum and grease, and those need like regular, but they're pumping them anyways every 3 months anyways. But in this case, if they maintain them every year, every 2 years, hopefully that's all it needs. I have a T filter at my house, and I think I've maintained it every year to 2 myself. So I do kind of like them. So I didn't put the I didn't advise to put it on there just because I actually kind of wanted this feeling of how we're going to go in this direction. I prefer them, so that's my point.
So again, I'm old school. The past practice that we've been doing it, we didn't require them. If we choose to do it as a regulation change, I think that's fine. So I mean, I like to hear from the other 2 board members. I mean, I personally would like to retake the vote and take out the effluent filter being required. Again, if the engineer or the installer recommends it, I think that's something different, but I think by setting that precedent, then we're going to have to do that for everybody. I think we should have a discussion as a board if we're going to change the regulations on that. I know it's probably small peanuts for money, but I mean, maybe you guys did that last meeting.
I'm fine with
there.
it.
Maybe you guys required it the last,
Yeah, I think that's reasonable, Diane.
Yeah.
Do you want me to take a stab? Do you want me to do the revote then, Jay?
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Yeah.
All right. I'd like to make a motion for 30311 to grant a variance from the Ashland Board of Health regulations to allow the subsurface sewage disposal system to be installed without a garbage disposal, with the condition that no garbage disposal be installed within the house. A deed recording be placed on the property stating no garbage disposal shall be installed in the house while the subsurface sewage disposal system is in use.
Okay, you want to second that?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye, Jay.
Aye. Okay, so that revision passes. And I think
We just
J
have to-
30311D.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
I make a motion to grant a variance from Ashland Board of Health Regulations, Section 303 11D to allow for the installation of a leaching bed.
I second that.
Right. All in favor?
Hi, Diane.
Hi, Ron. Okay. That passes. Right.
Well,
Thanks, Seth.
Thank you guys very much
Yeah,
for your time
yeah.
this evening. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Have
Thank
a
you.
good one.
You too.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry,
Okay.
he just left. I thought of just saying that we'll have the document ready for him, in a day or so,
Okay,
but that's good. Thank you.
okay. And is Paul up for 49 or is it Tom?
Yes.
Oh,
Paul's-
right, that's what I thought. Okay.
Hi,
How you
Diane.
doing?
Okay, am I up?
Yeah, you're up.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Diane.
Hi, Paul, how are you?
Great, thanks. Good to see you again. Okay, so I'm here to present the variance request for 49 Valley Road. It's an existing 3-bedroom residence with a failed septic system. We're proposing a replacement 3-bedroom septic system, no increase in flow. With a plan states that the garbage grinder will not be allowed. We're proposing the use of an alternative system, which is the Elgin in-drains. And we're proposing that Elgin in-drain system be installed in trench configuration as allowed by the approvals from DEP for this alternative system. So as a result of that, it generates a few variances, both from Ashland regulations and Title V, although we're asking them from Ashland because your regulations don't appear to acknowledge innovative alternative systems, which are approved and do not require DEP approval for their use, but we'll go through them here for your purposes. Under the Ashland rules and regulations, section 303.14, you require 10-foot separation between the edges of trenches. The Elgin in-drain systems are approved by DEP to be installed at 6 feet between trenches. So therefore, we're asking for a variance from that regulation. Under Title V, section 310 CMR 15284, to allow the system to be installed 2 feet above the seasonal high groundwater versus the standard 4, which is again in accordance with DEP approval for this alternative system, which is considered secondary treatment because of the way the baffles are set up and the additional retention of time. So they allow them to be installed 2 feet closer to groundwater than the Title V regs. In this case, a perk rate slower than 2 minutes per inch. Then under 15405 Part 1I, to allow a reduction in the separation between the inlet and outlet of the septic tank and the seasonal high groundwater, with the use of boots that are cast in place when the septic tank is made in order to assure a watertight connection. Again, we have no choice here. The alternative would have been to raise the plumbing, which was not allowable, or to install a pump system. So, and then finally under 15405I, to allow the system to be based on a sieve analysis rather than a perk test, and that was caused by the fact that groundwater was, I think, 36 inches below grade, and in fact interfered with the perk test, which has happened a lot this year. We've had, as you know, unseasonable rain, and that's occurred at many sites. So that's our system and proposal in a nutshell. Any questions?
I don't have any. Jay, Guy?
Do you want me to do this?
Good. Yeah. Did you have any questions?
I don't have any questions now.
Okay. All right, great. Anybody want to make a motion to, pass this slate?
I can start this one out. I make a motion to grant a variance from 310 CMR 15 point, just making sure I'm following this correct, 15.284 to allow the soil absorption system to be installed 2 feet above the seasonal high groundwater. I'm just gonna go with that.
Okay. Second?
Aye.
All in
Yep, second.
favor? Aye.
Diane, aye.
Ajay.
Okay. Good.
No, I'm sorry, I'm
Yep.
just confusing myself because I'm looking at the letter and looking at this at the same time. I apologize.
Right, that's
Um,
okay.
This second one is I make a motion to grant a variance from 310 CMR 405 L1 to allow a reduction of required, to allow a reduction of the requirement of 12-inch separation between the inlet and outlet tee
The high
to
groundwater.
high groundwater.
Yeah,
That was a little
Great.
rough, I apologize.
yeah.
Yep.
So the regulations, Title V says that the inlet and outlet of the septic tank should be at least 12 inches above the seasonal high groundwater on the site, but
Okay,
that's not possible on this site because the groundwater is so high.
okay, thank you.
Great. Second?
Second.
Right, all in favor?
Ajay.
Diane, aye.
Okay,
I make a motion to grant a variance from 310 CMR 15.405 I to allow the soil absorption system to be designed off the basis of a sieve analysis versus a percolation test due to the presence of groundwater during soil evaluation.
Second.
great. All in favor? Aye.
Aye. And also, I make a motion to grant a variance from Ashland Board of Health Regulations 303-14 to allow Elgin GSF B43 modules in the trench configuration to be spaced 6 feet wall to wall versus the required 10 feet.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, 3-0. Okay. All right. Thanks, Paul.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Paul.
All right, is that it? You want me to leave?
Well, you can stay if you want to hear the rest. You
No,
probably
I
have
think I'll
better
go have
to
dinner.
do, though.
Thank you. All right,
Yeah.
thanks very much for your time. Good to see you again,
Thank
Diane.
you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Any updates, Jay, on the remote area medical? I guess from according to Ed, you may have something to review.
Yeah, a little, couple quick updates. Sergeant Berman and I met with John Evans at Keefe Tech last Wednesday, and it was good. John was very receptive to the plan for RAM coming there, and very open about using the space. We toured the school. I think this was the side next to Fountain Street, right, Ed? The east side of the building. And so it looked like it could be a fit. So, and then I followed up with, it was the facilities director who provided me with a floor plan and some dimensions just to be sure that the equipment that RAM would use for medical and dental, as well as vision, would fit into the space. It looks like it would actually work. And if we needed to use the gym, John Evans said that would be possible as well. So that was good. I think that I think that it can work there. Though when I did reach out to RAM a couple weeks ago, the first thing that they said to me was that you should have 2 possible venues for the RAM folks to come and tour. So we'll still have to think about maybe having the Ashland High School as a possible venue, though I will talk to RAM about that because I think it would just be probably easier for a number of reasons to use Keefe Tech. So that's what we did. And that's where it stands now. I'm still waiting for the folks at RAM to get back to me and have the official first phone call. So I did fill out, and I think I mentioned this last time we met for the board. I did fill out the online application for RAM. Put in some statistics, justification. I mentioned that we had a team, a leadership team, and now Ed said that he would join, so that's great too. And then the next step is for them to get back to me and set up a phone call, and they haven't done that yet. So I know that they've been busy. We are Keefe Tech did tell us that if we are going to use the school, that it would be best if we did it in the last 2 weeks of August, which is after the summer camp, but before the school year starts. And that would either be this year or next year. I think it would be kind of calling it close if we tried to pull this off by August. Usually these things take about a year at least to plan. So we'll just have to wait and see it's really going to come down to what the schedule is for the remote area people and whether or not they can fit it in. So I will keep, everybody posted, but I'm happy with the progress so far. We've got a place, we've got a team in place, and now, we just have to wait and see if they approve it or not. So that's where it stands.
So I missed the last meeting. So RAM is an organization who will come in to offer free services for residents?
Yeah, sorry, Diane. So RAM is remote area medical based in just out of Knoxville, Tennessee, and I think it's Rockford. And they've been in business doing this for a long time, since the mid 80s. And so they'll come in and provide all the logistics and the equipment and help gather volunteer support for the entire event, which usually for most of these clinics will begin on a Friday. The setup is either on Thursday or Friday, and the clinics will run for a couple of days. It's completely free dental, medical, and vision care. And there's only so much they can provide for these services, but they're actually good services. You don't need to have health insurance. Most of the people that use these clinics are either underinsured or uninsured. Up here, you're not finding a lot of completely uninsured people, but being underinsured, not having enough money for the co-insurance or co-pays, that's always an issue, especially for dental and vision. So as you can imagine, these clinics are really well attended in certain parts of the country. And I think that this one would be well attended also. So that's the plan. And so you put together a leadership team, somebody that kind of is in charge of being the point person for the clinic on what they call the community host group. And then there are people that handle hospitality, the promotions of the entire event, as well as recruitment. And this leadership team works with the RAM leadership team. And like I said, it usually takes about a year to put one of these together. If we do this in August, it'll definitely be challenging. I think it will be fun to do. And I think people on this side will really enjoy it. But, we'll see. We'll see if RAM approves it to go down that quickly. So
that's great. Thanks for the update.
Yeah, and I can also, if you're interested, Diane, I can send you a couple of the videos that RAM puts out, and it'll give you a better sense. And Laura had sent out last week a video clip of one of the clinics, so definitely check it out. Okay, thanks for the time, everybody. If there are no questions, I'm happy to move on to the next agenda item.
Ed, anything to add? No. Okay.
Not yet.
All right. No, okay. All right.
Thank you, Ed.
All right.
Thanks again.
So, great. Thanks, Jay, for that.
Sure.
The consent agenda. Anybody want to make a motion to approve that?
Diane, did you have a chance to watch the meeting, or do you just have to read?
Oh, right.
I just looked at them quick. I mean, I didn't attend it, so I didn't scrutinize anything, but I mean, I can still vote on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, if you want to wait, if you want to put it off to the next boards for the members who were here to look at them. I assume I didn't watch the meeting with the other two members at the last meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
It's up to you. If you want to
Okay.
wait, we can
Yeah.
wait for those minutes, so just have them look at them and make sure they're good with them, just because they were there. It's up to you guys. I'm fine either way.
What do you prefer, Ron? I'm
Yeah,
happy
I mean,
to-
we can go either way. We can, that's the way Diane does it. Wouldn't put any, pressure on Diane. We can wait until next time. We'll let
Okay.
we'll let Bernadette and Barbara, so we'll table that till next time. So the consent agenda would just consist of the review of year-to-date budget reports for 2022.
Okay, so I'll make the motion to approve
Yeah.
the consent agenda with just the year-to-date budget reports for 2022.
I second that.
Diane, great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi, Diane.
Great. All right. Thank you. All right. Mr. Health Director Raj, you're up.
Yes, sir.
How
Thank you.
doing? Yeah.
So just want to update the board on the grants. So we have 5 grants out of the 6 we have applied, and there was a FDA grant that we got this afternoon. I just sent the email to the board right before the meeting. So that grant is for $5,000, and it's going to be solely for food-based stuff we do here, like we can buy equipment for that, additional trainings or credentialing for the staff and all that. So grant from FDA for $5,000 that we received today. Other than that, I do have another update. 4 of these grants that we are part of the MetroBest collaboration. Kelly Caso, who is the director of Hudson Department, and where these grants are based, is actually leaving the department. She's moving out of public health. So she have taken a non-public health job. She's going to be with the department, I guess, end of this month, and then maybe some part in March. But I mean, that's going to be like maybe a little challenging, though we have a lot of support staff right now, from these grants. They've been helping us. They are here with almost all our clinics, and that's sad, but that's what it is right now, that she's leaving.
Did you say that was the
just wanna-
director from Hudson?
That is correct. Childhood vaccine program, Sergeant Berman, myself, we was working. We finally did a lot of work on that, and thank you, Dr. Ron, for signing all the documents. I know there was a lot of them. So there was like
It was kind of like a
9
mortgage.
vaccines,
I thought it's like signing a mortgage with a
right.
Well,
So we have we have done a good lead in that program. We have DPH coming this Friday for a walkthrough. Just from the shared services, she's kind of be doing the vaccines now. This vaccine we will be hosting for all the 8 communities, that are in the collaboration. So it's a big undertaking. We are prepared for it, but hopefully after the Friday walkthrough, we'll be able to get the vaccine and start it. So we'll keep the board posted on that.
So just because, again, I wasn't at the last meeting, I feel like I'm out of the loop here, and maybe I'm not the only one, but so we're going to host the clinic for regional vaccinations?
Just for childhood vaccines, like for the school going, there is definitely, from a long time, there is a demand, and
Oh, no, I know that, but I thought when we originally got the grant through Hudson, that's one of the things that we had on as one of our, one of our needs, and then the state changed it. So did we change it back? Like, how do we get back to this?
So maybe I could step in real quick and
Well,
explain what happened.
Ed, if you don't mind, I'd like to have Raj answer the question, because I'm just a little bit confused here.
Absolutely. So, I mean, if your question is around the staff, I mean, we did get additional funds, like for the CTC grant and all that. So for right now, we have one full-time public health nurse, and then there's another one part-time joining under all these grants. So all the communities have agreed, that we'll be able to do it. And I've spoken to the management, that they are okay with us doing this initially, at least, getting started, because Hudson didn't have that much space to host it.
And what I'm confused about, and maybe we need to have, maybe I need to have a meeting with you, but the last I knew is this is one of our, I forget the word for it, but this is one of the things that we've been fighting for. And last I knew, the state changed it and said that they wanted us to have epidemiology and go a different route. So did the grant change, or is this not part of the grant?
The grant didn't change. We do have 2 epidemiologists also on that, but yes, I guess we had this discussion, I'm not sure, but there was one public health nurse allowed, because they combined the 2 grants. So there is one, the Public Health Excellence Grant, and then there is the CTC grant. And under those 2 combined grants, they hired one public health nurse that's full-time. And there's another one, I guess it's coming on board or may have already come this week or something. That's a part-time nurse, So under that, we'll be doing this. I hopefully answer your question, but I'm happy to clarify more. But yes, 2 epidemiologists was hired, but then the public health nurse was also hired.
Yeah, we could talk afterwards. I'd like to have a meeting about it because I'm a little bit concerned about the process because of what we were told, and now it's very different. And finding this stuff out, on a live TV. I just need more information because this has been something that I've tried to work on with the department for a long time, and it seems like it keeps flip-flopping. So I think we'll have to talk off camera about it to bring me up to
Sure.
speed.
Absolutely. Then I have restaurant updates. We 2 weeks back, we had not a very good inspection at the residence of Valley Farms. There was good number of violations, and Tom and myself, we've been working with the management on that. A lot of stuff is straightened out as of now, but I'll keep the job board posted on that. There was some food safety stuff that was going on, and I did had a conversation with the director of Valley Farm. Tom is due to go in back for a re-inspection, but I will brief the board once we have that. And similar situation at the Mill Pond. I know Rita have copied the board on that. When this was Wednesday or Thursday that Tom went in for inspection. I'm sorry, this was not Wednesday. This was Sunday actually when Tom went in for inspection. They didn't had hot water. So they have rectified it since, there was a couple of other things, but though we didn't had any of the complaints coming from the residents because the hot water, it seems, was a problem throughout the building, but they have rectified that since, and board, again, once we have a re-inspection there also, I'll update the board. And the last thing I'm doing the Metro West leadership training. This is through the Metro West Health Foundation. They have given us one of the grants that is a $50,000 grant per community, So, but it looks to me for so far, I have attended 2 of their trainings or the sessions. Looks like a very good training. It's more on, learning leadership skills and all that. And I'm happy for any questions, please.
I don't really have any. I think it's, it's great that, that you've done all this work to, that all these grants are at least available to help us out a little bit, which is great, even though I know it's in conjunction with other towns, but I'm sure it takes a lot of paperwork to get these things. So.
Yes, sir. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, and Tom Curran, you know, he have helped me in both the grants we got it for food, you know,
Yep.
one from FDA, one from NEAS, you know, so, and that will be using it to get equipment and, you know, training of the staff and all that, you know.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. That you're just review things with Raj, you know, tomorrow, or any other questions, or?
No, but did you, and again, these are probably questions that so did you sign the standing orders for the clinic? Is that what you signed? I'm confused on what he said about all the documents.
Yes.
So what, okay, so we've already gone to that point that you've already signed the standing orders for the.
Yeah, I signed it so they could do these things, but I don't, nothing's set in stone. If you have a problem with something, then, definitely review it.
No, I was just curious because I thought, I thought we already had, I see Ed's looking at his eyes. I thought we already had standing orders. So when they mentioned you signed all that paperwork, I didn't know we had to have different orders.
So Diane, I can just fill you in a little bit more. So when Raj and I reached out to DPH a couple of weeks ago, we asked what actually do we need to make this all happen? Because even in the collaborated group, nobody knew how to make this actually happen. So we actually got assigned to somebody at DPH. The first thing they did was they actually had us send them all the information on our storage capabilities with our refrigerator and our freezer. She then first had to review 2 months worth of our temperature logs, which we submit those monthly. The next step was I had to fill out paperwork for a backup storage facility. So Hopkinton is going to be our backup in the event something happens to our refrigeration unit. And we are now going to be Hopkinton's backup in case something happens to their refrigeration unit. Then once that happened, then they asked us, they said, okay, now we have to have somebody from DPH has to come on site to actually look at our facility, where our refrigerator is, how we have it set up. And that was scheduled for this upcoming Friday. The nurse from the collaborative is coming down also to meet with DPH. And once we have that approved, we have to show them the standing orders have been signed. Before, Diane, it was a blanket standing order. You can't do that anymore. It actually, why Ron had to sign so many things, he has to give us standing orders for each individual vaccine. So one for tetanus, one for MMR, one for varicella. You need a separate standing order for each vaccine. So once she comes here on Friday, if everything gets approved, then we will be allowed to go into the MIIS system and order the vaccines directly from the state. And then we can actually get started. DPH over the last year and a half have totally changed how this all had to happen.
Okay, anything else? Any other questions? No? Okay. Anybody want to review or, recommend anything to discuss for agenda topics for, the next meeting? I know we have, Kristen French giving us an update on decisions at every turn. We'll keep on, Jay's remote area medical in case there's anything else?
Not from me, Ron.
Okay. All right. Everybody good? Raj, you're good?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anybody like to make a last motion?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Yep.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Ed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Raj,
Night.
Diane, Mark, Ed,
Have a good night.
Laura. Yeah, good night.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.